Good evening. It is Monday, September 28th. It is time for the MLB wildcard edition of the Iman Report. That's right. Tomorrow we start the MLB playoff bubble. The NL teams will go to the Texas bubble. Some teams will play in Arlington. Other teams will play in Houston. In the NL bubble, the AL bubble will be in California, the NL in Texas. The California bubble will be at Petco Park in San Diego and Dodger Stadium in LA. When we get to the LCS will be held at Arlington and Petco Park. The World Series will be played at Globe Life Park. There's a chance we could see fans for the LCS series, maybe on the NL side, since that's in Texas. I doubt Governor Newsom will allow fans on the California bubble. But also, Manfred wants fans for the World Series. I don't think now's the time to be bringing fans back in the stands. But let's get started with the bubble. We're going to start with the California AL bubble. We're going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays against the Toronto Blue Jays. This is a divisional matchup between the up-and-coming Toronto Blue Jays and a very talented Tampa Bay Rays team. Hitting that, I think the edge slightly goes to Toronto. The pitching advantage, Rays. The Rays have four solid guys in the rotation. They can go Yarborough. They can go Snell. They've got Morton. I forget the fourth guy who's pretty good, but I'm trying to think of his name. Snell and all Toronto really has it's Snell, Morton, Glasnow. Okay, Glasnow. So you got a four-headed monster in a three-game series. You could see one of these top-tier starters in the bullpen if needed. I don't know if that's going to even be necessary. The Rays have a solid bullpen, too. Bullpen advantage, Rays. Toronto's pitching, it's a bit of a question mark after Hyun-Jin Ryu. After that, it's Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's pitched a bit better since being traded to Toronto, but I don't exactly would give him a lot of confidence. Tanner Rourke is hit or miss. Toronto's bullpen is sketchy, but this will be good playoff experience for the young kids. And I think this is not going to be the end of Toronto in the playoffs, but I think Tampa Bay is going to make quick work of the Blue Jays. I think it's going to be Rays in 2. The next preview series, it is the Oakland Athletics going up against the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox kind of backed into a 7 seed, but I think this is going to be a very good series. The White Sox are a very deep team. And Oakland, losing Chapman's going to hurt. It's not... You still have Simeon, who could be okay. Not the best of years from... Yeah, Chapman hasn't been good. But you need guys like Simeon and La Stella to step up for the hitting. Oakland's got has a decent rotation. But that might be. I'm going to say that's the pitching matchups could be even. The hitting advantage White Sox. Chicago has Lucas Giolito, another guy with playoff experience in Dallas Keuchel. So these are two pretty good two-headed monster there. The A's, the good part is they do have a pretty decent rotation. It will likely be Sean Manaea, Jesus Luzardo, Jesus Luzardo, and Chris Bassett will likely be the three guys that will be the starters for the Oakland A's. And you could get if Frankie Montas can pitch better out of the pen, then you got a good long man in Frankie Montas. Bullpen advantage A's. But I think this could be a series where the Chicago bats might just be too much for the A's. The White Sox hitting kills left-handed pitching, and the bad news for the A's is their starters are lefties. So it could mean the A's are going to have to rely on the bullpen in order to win this series, and I could smell an upset in the series. Last couple playoff appearances, the A's have been bounced pretty quickly. I think this is going to be I think it's going to be more of the same for the Oakland A's this year. I think the White Sox are the better team in this series. White Sox in 3. I think the White Sox will take it in 3. In a fun 3-6 matchup, the Houston Asterisks, or Astros, however you want to call them, take on the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota has the hitting advantage Twins. Pitching advantage Twins. There's just too many question marks with the hitting. With Bregman struggled this year. Altuve has struggled this year. The rotation has really leaked. The bullpen advantage Twins. And this is going to be a series now where the Astros are going to have to lean heavily on their bullpen. Your only two maybe reliable starters might be Zach Greinke and Lance McCullers. Other than that, it could be a lot of bullpenning in this series for the Houston Astros. But as for Minnesota, Minnesota's got a pretty good rotation. It's Kenta Maeda. Maeda's pitched good as of late. You've got Jose Barrios, and then also Michael Pineda's pitched well. So I think the Twins are going to make quick work of the Asterisks, send them home in 2 games, and I think a lot of America is going to be happy when the Asterisks are bounced from the playoffs. And in what could be a pitching versus hitting matchup, the New York Yankees take on the Cleveland Indians. The hitting, the advantage goes to the Yankees. Pitching, advantage Indians. The Yankees are going to need Garrett Cole to pitch like an ace. They're going to need some quality outings out of James Paxton. Tanaka's got to pitch well. So that's how it's going to have to be for the Yankees to have a chance. But they're getting, honestly, they're getting Aaron Judge. They're getting Aaron Judge back at the right time. You got Giancarlo Stanton. All it takes is a few bombs. I think the bats will get hot. You've got Aroldis Chapman. If Chapman can get on track, I think this is going to go all 3 games. And I think the Bombers will win. They're going to show what they are going to show what they were supposed to be this year. They're going to win it against the Indians in 3. But I think the Indians pitching is going to make it tough. But I do think the Yankees have the bats, and I think the hitting will beat the pitching in this series, which could set up a showdown in the second round between the Yankees and the Rays. We'll talk about that another day. Now on to the NL, the Texas bubble. In the first round, first series, it's the Milwaukee Brewers going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Pitching, Dodgers. Hitting, Dodgers. Brewers, lucky to be in the series. Brewers don't have much of a rotation. Brett Anderson, hurt. Corbin Burns, hurt. So they're going to have to rely on Bob Woodruff. And other than that, it's going to have to be bullpenning. And the bullpenning's not as good as it has been the last few seasons for the Brewers. The Dodgers, they're going to go with Walker Buehler. I don't know if we see Clayton Kershaw pitch start in the series. That's for another day. But I don't know if they even need him to pitch to start or not. It's mostly going to be Walker Buehler. They've got other guys in the rotation. I think the Dodgers are going to make a cakewalk of Of course, the Dodgers just have the bats. They'll make a cakewalk of the Brewers. And if somehow the Dodgers it'll be Dodgers in 2, but if the Dodgers somehow find a way to choke, it will be the end of the line for Dave Roberts. Next up, the Cincinnati Reds against the Atlanta Braves. The Reds got hot at the right time and managed to get into the playoffs as a 7 seed. The Braves, they have issues, but they won the division. The hitting. I think the advantage might be even on the hitting. Pitching, Reds. Bullpen, Reds. The Braves are going to have to do a lot of bullpenning in this series. The pitching has not been good for the Atlanta Braves this year. Pitching's been a liability for Atlanta all year. That's not good. Cincinnati, they've got a 3-headed monster rotation. They've got Trevor Bauer. They've got Sonny Gray. They've got Luis Castillo. And to make matters worse for Atlanta, they may not have Ronald Acuna Jr. I think Cincinnati's going to make quick work of the Braves. It might be Reds in 2. And another fun series coming up. It will be the Miami Marlins against the Chicago Cubs. Anytime the Marlins make the playoffs, they always find a way to win the World Series. I don't know if that's going to happen this year or not, but Don Mattingly is certainly should get a lot of consideration for Manager of the Year. Hitting, advantage Cubs. Pitching, Cubs. Miami might be scrappy enough that they will win a game. I don't think they will win the series, though. It's likely going to be Darvish, Hendricks, and probably either Quintana or Lester. I think Chicago. I think it'll be Cubs in 3. And the final series in the Texas bubble, the St. Louis Cardinals against the San Diego Padres. This is one where you're going to see the bullpens get stretched. Padres are likely going to be without Mike Clevenger. They might be without Dinelson Lamet. But they do have Zach Davies and Chris Paddock. That might just be enough for the Braves. I mean, that might just be enough for the Friars. The Cardinals pitching rotation, they're going to have to rely on Adam Wainwright to be. Adam Wainwright's going to have to be a hero this year. Unfortunately, Jack Flaherty has struggled for the Cardinals this year. There's not a lot of other options. St. Louis will have to maybe rely on bullpen games if they want to get past the Padres. Hitting, advantage Padres. You got Tatis. You've got Machado. But I don't think the health issues are going to be a concern in this round. I think it'll be Padres in 3. But I do think the Friars will have challenges when we get to the NLDS. Those are my picks. Everybody have a good night.